wrist right now. Hello and welcome to the Big Smoke and Friends podcast.
Kaden, I scooted your burrito.
Hannah's
too close
here.
to the table. I'm Hannah. It was too close to
And
the table.
Kaden's here too. Jesus.
I forgot my coworker asked me to...
Nuggies.
They asked me to take their shift today, but...
Nah,
Who the fuck asked you to do that?
Ming. Not everybody knows.
Ming?
I'm not close with them like that. Yeah.
Mang.
And I honestly, I would have if it was like any other circumstances, but... And also, usually I'm in class till like 9:30.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're usually in class right now.
So, everybody asks me on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm like, literally, those are like the 2 days I will never be able to take your shift. Past, like, I cannot.
Anytime.
I
can't take it. I just can't take it.
But
No, I saw you. You opened one time on a Thursday. I remember I came to the bar to do shots and you were there on Thursday.
It must have been before I started. There's
no
possible way. Because my first class is at 12 on Thursday.
Oh, no, never mind. No one.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there's no possible
Yeah, it must have
way.
been before.
I open on Fridays a lot in the past. I don't know why they keep giving Friday day shifts to, like, fucking Presley. Presley? I don't care if we're, like, on better terms now. Like,
oh, that chick! Yeah,
I'm like, bitch, I will never forget that. But I don't care. I'm like, say it. You're a bad bartender.
Ooh.
Like, you just don't. I do not underpour now.
Wait, no one you
There's been
work
a
with
long
listens
time.
to this,
like,
do they?
No. I would rather, like, things spill out the top than for me to underpour. Because that just feels, like, wrong. But I've watched her pour. There's always, like, a significant amount of shit that she doesn't pour the line up to. So if I see her working behind the bar, I'm like, I'm not ordering a fucking drink from you.
Literally, the only two people I get drinks from are you or Mads.
Mads is really good, too. But Mads used to work at a cocktail bar.
Oh, nice.
Because, like, Nikki will overpour every fucking
Nikki
time.
and Soleil are, like, serial overpourers. It's sweet.
I love it. I love it when they're behind the bar.
I don't. Like,
I'm like, sorry,
to
our
enjoy
Red
it.
Bull gun is not good enough. At Rip Rocks, that works.
Yeah.
Like, their Rip Rocks, their gun, for some reason, tastes actually like Red Bull or something that it tastes enough to mask the vodka, but their gun's already weak, and then they overpour. So it's like that much vodka to that much, like, Red Bull, and I'm like, that doesn't mask the flavor at all now. I'm just sucked it on, like, a couple.
Yeah, I'll be totally honest. Like, when I've gone there and I've got like whiskey coke, and it'll be like half the glass is whiskey. I'm like, you know what? Carpe diem.
Carpe diem.
Car-
Try to drink it like,
no, one sip. Yeah, one sip. You're like, ugh. 2 more sips. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, after you're drunk enough, you're like, this is fine. You don't want to start out drinking that way, though.
I don't know, man. I've gone to a.
It's Thirsty Thursday.
It is Thirsty Thursdays. But no, I've gotten to the point of just like, if I'm gonna drink, we get shit faced. I don't care. So, I don't mind an overpour. The one I do hate the most, underpours. If I feel like I'm getting shafted out of my $6
That's
for a
what
double.
Becky said, and that's why I'm confused, because it seemed like she's worked with Becky, kind of. So I'm like, girl, how come you're not better at pouring yet? Because you've been here, like, a month now.
I'll be totally honest, I've never even seen her pour a drink. Every time I see her, she's in bar back. But yeah,
Resident barback.
she's bar back. She's a spine of the found. I don't know.
Our barback, like, maybe once a week. But it's not like I work the bar that much more. They asked me if I wanted to take more, like, weekend bar shifts to, like, dip my toe in it.
Yeah.
Megan and Jackson asked me recently, but I was just like, I don't know. They know I have another job, and the beans is not my priority. So they think they're trying to not schedule me as many night bars as they can, because it just, like, makes me feel too exhausted for whatever I need to do the next day. So something I mentioned to them, I was like, they used to schedule me to close on Mondays, and I'm like, honestly, that's hard for me because I have to be up at 9 the next day.
Yeah, no, I get that shit, man.
So I asked them not to put me in Monday closers. Now they put me on, like, Wednesdays a lot. And last Wednesday I made $120, so I'm like, that's fine.
Well, I'm just honest, that's the only reason I don't get like another job, is because of like my first job. When I start that job at 5 a.m. I don't know what job I'd be able to get out of where I get like a decent night's sleep. And then like working like, and sometimes I don't even get out on the first job on time most of the time. And they always like, it's weird. Like I know I shot myself in the fucking foot because now they expect it. Like when I'm like our head chef guy, he brought in a temp to help him with some wedding party or something that came in for dinner, and then he ran her off somewhere. I don't know. She just fucking left. So, and all of a sudden, I'm literally like about to grab my knife bag and walk out, and the guy just taps me on the shoulder, like, "Hey, I need your help with something," and I'm like, "Fuck, put my shit back down." I'm like, I think it's gonna be like one thing, and I'm there for another 4 hours. And I'm like, what the fuck did I just agree to? And I felt like the only time I've ever done it, I've done shit like that at that job and felt like kind of taken advantage of.
Well, I think you need to just like access the party that might be Mexican and like just come up with lies. Sorry.
Oh.
Sometimes I just be.
Look
I'm sorry. I
look
literally
at this
can't
blonde
stay
hair.
any
You
later.
think there is any South American
You need to access the
descendant?
party that's not white, and it's okay to lie to your employers. Like
No.
sometimes people be expecting too much from you, and that's like really not your responsibility. Even if you did get a promotion, you get paid. You don't get paid enough to justify you staying 4 hours longer than an already long ass shift.
Yeah, true.
Like if I were you, I would have been like, I got a doctor's appointment. Sorry, or I got a dentist appointment.
Okay, sorry, I got a life to fucking live.
Yeah. Because what? They just expect you to have no life. That you never have anything.
Well, that's the thing. I
don't.
don't.
But they expect that from you because you just haven't shown them that. Maybe you just need to lie.
Yeah, maybe I need to lie.
You have something to go to. You can't stay 4 hours. You can't stay 4 hours.
No, yeah. Like,
you can even be like, I can stay like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, but I really have somewhere to be by this time.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good way.
No, I like at Wintron, they already asked me, like, since I took that Sunday shift, they pretty much every day I worked this week they were trying to ask me for more OT, and so I was like,
well, I don't know, man. I mean, I get it.
I've
you have
heard.
shit to like come home to and shit. Me, when they say you want overtime, a lot of times I'm like, what am I gonna fucking do? I'm gonna sit at home and watch TV by myself for an extra couple hours.
no, like,
So
I worked my 40 hours in 4 days.
Yeah, no, I know, and they want you to work more, right?
I picked up a whole extra shift.
Yeah, I mean
So,
that's fucked.
Technically, in that week, I only had 1 day off, right? No, I had 2. I had 1 day off. That first Monday and then Sunday. So I had 2 days off that week.
So you did 50 hours.
I did 50 hours.
Yeah.
And then, literally the next day, I went into work again after all that.
Yeah.
And did my next 40. Well, did 30. Tomorrow's 40.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, like I've already worked more overtime for them. Like
I don't know.
I'm just saying,
sometimes
like,
it's
you
worth
don't set
it.
good boundaries then, and I'm sorry.
No, but like
I do.
the
I've been
first...
cheated a lot out of the things that I do.
Well, that's the thing. I think you're right. Though there's a time when you like say yes to something. Like, yes, I am willing to sacrifice my free time for you, and that's what you coming as like a person of like, yeah, sure, fuck, I have nothing fucking better to do. Why not? Why not earn a little bit of extra money? And now your employer says, oh, now you're willing to.
Yeah,
now I know you are willing
that. They're gonna think you're willing to do that every time. So I would just,
until like what you say, you set a boundary.
I would try to be.
Like,
I would just try to be clear about that shit. Like I could do overtime sometimes. Sometimes I cannot. Like sometimes I do have things planned, and
I told him. I was like,
well, also I think people are perpetually afraid of like.
Ian?
People are afraid to say no.
Yeah, and then like.
But that was the thing. He kept pressuring me into it because he heard that I took my Sunday shift, and I told him, I was like, no, I just picked up a whole extra shift for you guys yesterday. I was like, I don't think you understand. Like, I only had 1 day off. Like, in like the 6 days I've been working, so I'm a little tired. Like, I don't want any more overtime. And the next day he tried to ask me again. I was like, I literally have shit to do. Like, I'm going to Austin this weekend. Like, it's been planned. It's been known. Like, John knows about it. Can you stop asking me? And on finally the last day, like after we talked about it, I just told him, I was like, yeah, I'll take it, because you weren't going to get out of class till 5, so it'd still be off before you're home.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just be like, if you don't have anything better to do, then of course, but like sometimes if there's something that they're asking me.
Yeah, you also gotta take your own like health and like well-being in account to it. If you're exhausted, don't take more overtime.
Oh, no.
I mean, even if you don't have something else to do, it's just like.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of the time, I don't have something else to do. It's like whenever I get out, I finished my bar back duties one night at 3, and then the girl I was working with at the time did not finish her shit. It had been already. It was about to be 4 in the morning. I've been sitting in a booth crying. I was just like, sorry, I have to lie. I have to be up at like 9 tomorrow. I gotta go. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did not have to be up at 9. I had to be up at 12, but still, it shouldn't matter. Like, we've been here. I've finished my duties. I've been here
at 4 in the morning, you know?
Yeah, I've been here over an hour than I'm scheduled. I don't know. I don't have any.
Also, I mean, if I was a manager too, I would be like, hey, you can go. To everybody else, I mean, this person's taking forever. I had a guy I used to work with that did that shit too, and our boss would always be like, yeah, you guys are good. You guys finish everything you're supposed to do. Go home.
I guess it's just harder with ours sometimes because when it's super late at night, we're the only ones there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, you can close the bar and then walk to your car all by yourself.
Dude, I mean, I remember like the one
That
time,
doesn't feel right.
the only time I've ever had a job and like taken like I guess my own well-being into account and been like, all right, I'm done with this shit. Was when I was working at a sushi place, and it was like the third night in a row. I was there till like 3 in the morning doing because the dishwasher quit. So no, there's literally an entire dinner shift worth of like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So this is all the busiest days of the week. No one's doing dishes. So when we get there, we have an entire shift's worth of dishes to do. And we're already closed. We already scrubbed the floors. We already put everything away. We've done all the closing shit. And there's 3 people there at like right at 12 o'clock, basically midnight. And we're not done till 3 in the morning. And I literally went to my manager, that's my 2 weeks. See you later. And then I was fired the next day.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, guess what? I mean, I had a job like 2 days later, but still.
Why did they fire you?
Because I put my 2 weeks notice in.
That's illegal. You collected unemployment.
Yeah, I had a job in like 2 days. I had already had an interview.
You still had unemployment.
You can only collect unemployment if you're not.
Oh, dude, trust me,
You still get a free check out of it though.
No. You don't understand. I had said that to my parents, and they're like, no. And when COVID happened too, I said, fuck it, I'm just gonna collect unemployment. I'm gonna get paid more than just working at fucking Shake Shack. They're like, we didn't raise you to collect unemployment. And I was like,
there's a stigma behind it, but honestly, like the truth is, in that situation, it would be kind of dumb. They would be expecting that money back because you would already have had a job.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you're not unemployed.
Yeah.
My sister took too much from unemployment. She had to pay some shit back.
Oh, really?
Alright, that wasn't. I don't remember if that was my sister, if that was one of my exes. But I know somebody that was collecting unemployment for a while.
And then they had to pay it back,
they had to
like
pay some of
taxes.
it back because they were like, you're not actively trying to find a job. You've been unemployed for like over 2 months.
Yeah, that's the thing about unemployment. People don't realize you have to be
You
active.
have to be actively searching for a job. You have to be, even if you can get a job that's not well paying, you can still collect unemployment to some degree because you would have been working full time. And if you only can find a part time job, then they'll like.
They'll give you like a fucking like time period or whatever. Because like you think about it, it's like in like pay periods. So you have to like get paid a certain amount every single month based on your income and all that. Anyway, I got into it a little bit when like
If you didn't
unemployment.
have a job, I would have just collected unemployment. But if you already have one, then I'm like.
Dude, everyone kept telling me to do so because I was working at Shake Shack
Especially
making
at the
no
time.
money.
Like back at that time, a lot of people. I think it was a lot easier to deal with unemployment back then because a lot of people were in those circumstances.
Yeah.
It's just like the guy. My sister collected unemployment, but she wasn't the one that had issues. I'm pretty sure it was my ex. And I think if I remember correctly, it was because it had been months. He wasn't looking for a job. He didn't work a part-time job.
Just collecting
part-time
unemployment.
job was good enough for him. Yeah, and they were like, "Sorry, you have to pay all this back." Like, you hadn't found it. You've had this time. When my dad had to file for unemployment, he was actually unemployed for almost a year. He was actively looking for jobs. He had a part-time job. He could prove that he had like 4 kids at the time.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of things about like dependents and stuff. If you have like kids to pay for, you can collect unemployment because you're not working full time and you're not making as much money as you were when you were at your previous employment. Because I mean, your dad probably had like a certain salary he had before.
He owned his own business.
Exactly. So
Like,
he had and proof of income that was greater than whatever fucking shitty part-time job he got just to keep the lights on.
Yeah, and so he didn't get fucked over by the unemployment office. But I'm like, you have to do what they say. You're at their knees and hands of mercy, whatever. Hands and knees begging for mercy. Yeah, hands of mercy. I don't know. But that's why I think I don't know. I would do that if I was gonna be unemployed for like a long time and I was in a situation where I would need.
Yeah.
I was kind of too scared to like ask the government for money. When the stimulus thing happened, I was like, "Are we sure?
Yeah,
Are we actually?"
I didn't even get one. I was on
Yeah,
store.
like $2,000.
I didn't get anything, and I didn't get like.
I didn't get anything either.
And like like the essential worker bonus pay, like everyone got. I didn't get that either. I worked during the whole time, like full time hours.
Same.
No stimulus check, and I was like, "What is this bullshit?"
Your parents claim you as a dependent.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's when I was starting filing like my own taxes and everything.
Do you live with them?
I did.
Well, it was based on like the previous
separate.
year. So if you're still claimed
Maybe.
as
okay, then yeah, the previous year, yeah.
Yeah, you think about it, we only got
My
one
ex-
year of stimulus, right?
Me?
No, like we only got one stimulus check, right?
I had 2 stimulus checks.
Yeah,
Yeah, two. There's two.
There's like one of them was 1,200, another one was like 800.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's why I ended up getting like $2,000. But I knew a lot of people that got fucked over because their parents claimed them.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
at
they
the
didn't get
time, is
stimulus.
why would they not
It
claim
happened to
it?
a lot of my friends. I was like, how come nobody else got the stimulus check? They're like,
But
I
that's
filed my
the
taxes like
fucked
my
up
parents.
thing.
Yeah.
My dad made too much money, so they didn't like it. Like
Well,
my
if
dad
they
didn't.
claimed you, they could have.
My dad
They
didn't.
could have
Like,
had a
if
bonus.
they were gonna give him a stimulus check too, he was gonna be like, "I don't want that. Like, can you please take it back?" Type shit. He was being really weird about it.
Can I take
Yeah,
it
he was being
back?
really weird.
The fucking government's
You don't
giving you
look
free
at me.
money.
Yeah,
Can
you
you
don't look
give
rich
it
or-
back?
Oh my god, Robin.
I'll
no.
take it.
My dad's just superstitious. He's like, "I don't like the government. I don't like."
All right,
much."
bury the check in the backyard or something. I don't give a fuck
He
what you
would.
do.
He would.
It's like the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Here's free money. Take it back.
That is literally the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I mean, you can't take it back. They're like, it's free money. We printed it just for you. Like, what the fuck? I'm sorry, that is kind of like the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Because it's like, it's printing money.
I'm
I mean,
sorry, to me that says your dad hasn't struggled long enough to remember what it's like to need.
or it's just, I don't know,
$100.
just like, what,
Even if you don't
deeply
need it, what,
distrusting.
give it to your kid that you claimed as dependent.
You
the
know what?
fuck?
I know, I don't blame people for being distrustful of banks, especially after 2008.
I don't blame it for being disrespectful. The bank's not giving you the fucking money. It's the
Well, they own the banks.
Oh my god. Yeah. Okay then. What does your dad not
Well, I guess,
use
well,
any banks?
no, he's used the bank, right? He has to use the bank. Yeah. Well, actually, no. This is privately owned banks still. Actually, no. All of them are privately owned banks. I'm pretty sure in America, there's no government-owned bank besides like what, like the central, like the Fed.
I'm pretty sure banks are federalized.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Well,
I've heard
because I
that.
know like during the Great Depression, when all like a fuck ton of banks failed, they were all privately owned, and
that's when they all became federal. Like, or
was
all
it
federally
after the Great
bonded.
Depression? Okay.
Yeah, that was part of
Hard to
it.
get tickles.
But oh hey, Juan asked me what we're doing. You want to tell him?
Yeah,
Do
they're highly regulated. Yeah, tell me come through. Highly regulated by the federal and state governments. However, the federal government operates its own system of banks called the Federal Reserve System.
Okay.
They're technically businesses, but they're just highly regulated.
You know what's a movie I fucking highly recommend? Which I thought I really thought at first I was like, I'm bored out of my goddamn mind, but it actually turned out to be very interesting and very fucking like. Because like I never knew how I knew 2000 like the whole housing crisis happened and like the economy collapsed or whatever. I knew that like had happened, but you know I was like a kid when it happened, so I never understood it. And but like there's this movie called The Big Short, which are these few groups of people that realized the whole housing market was going to collapse and the bubble was going to burst, and all these people were going to default on their mortgages. So they bet against all of them, and these big giant bonds, which had all these mortgages lumped together, because this one guy back in like the 70s or whatever started like realized if they lumped all these mortgages together into giant like bonds. And especially back in like the early like 70s and all that, it was never thought that someone would default on their mortgage. Everyone would pay that shit back in the day. There was never like, oh, I lost the house type shit, unless you were like really fall on your luck kind of shit. But so all these people were giving away mortgage after mortgage to people who could never pay them back, and so basically all of these were about to fail, and a very few group of people figured this out and realized this was about to happen, and so they shorted everything. So they basically bet against all the banks, and then the whole 2008 happened, then they bailed out all the banks, so the whole United States economy would have collapsed basically. But it's called The Big Short, and it's actually surprisingly humorous, and at times it was very fucking fascinating because I don't know any of this shit. I'm like numbers are like way over my head. I don't know the math. I'm like I look at like a giant spreadsheet. I'm like I need to like sit down. I'm like getting dizzy, type shit, and I'm not really good with math. That's it. It's not my thing. But like, in the fact that like, and that's the thing too. Like all these people and all these mortgage companies and like hedge funds that were like, oh, they'll never fucking fail. They none of them knew. Like none of these banks realized what was about to happen. So that's why it was like this giant crisis that happened. They were all like, oh yeah, it's gonna be great, and like only like these few people figured it out because they actually went inside these bonds that were filled with hundreds and thousands of mortgages and realized like 80% of them were about to default. And it was like, so that means the whole bond was going to default and fail. And the bank was about to lose literally billions of dollars. I don't know. I just found it like, I was like, oh, so like we were like that close to like the entire world falling apart basically somehow. Financially at least. Anyway. What do you mean? When crazy shit happens, when banks run out of money, you can't pull your money out, and they're like, oh wow, everything is meaningless, worthless.
Like exactly. Like everyone would be like, well, everything is a construct. Like it means nothing now. Like your whole construct is gone. So what does it mean?
Well, money is kind of a made-up concept in a way. Yeah. I mean, it used to be backed up by gold, but now it's not really backed up by anything. Basically, backed up by like the proposition of business. That a country will exist and there will be people to spend money. That's really what's backed by now.
$1 trillion spent on military costs.
God love it.
It's hard to argue that.
What? Military-industrial complex, baby?
Very hard to argue that our money in the banks mean anything to the government.
Nah, that's missiles and that's bullets in a gun, baby.
Yep. Yep.
That's all it is to them. They're like, I can't wait to make that into a missile.
I myself.
Look at that. They're looking. IRS is looking at your bank account. Like, I can't wait to make that into a missile. Can't wait to blow up a fucking hospital in the Middle East.
And in the end, they're like, why is our country in debt?
It's the people's fault. It's always the people's fault.
Tax them more.
You know what's even?
You work hard, you deserve less.
Kim Kardashian said it best. People these days just don't want to work.
Yeah, goddamn right, I don't want to fucking work for this bullshit.
Bitch was on her knees for 2 minutes. Doesn't have to work a day in her life. talking about work. I'm like, that's hilarious.
Hey man, she put some work in that video.
Yeah, 2 minutes worth of it. Like, damn.
She
I like have no sympathy. That's like.
And she's like #1 porn star on Pornhub for like years, decades.
Yes, bitch, 2 minutes of fame. Never have to work again.
Playboy Centerfold
criticizing
too.
the American public. I'm like, girl,
Oh
you're the
my
last
God.
person
I remember-
anybody wants to hear about work from.
You know what was like,
You
know like I saw like how the Kardashians are full of shit.
I
was
actually
watching-
love Courtney. Courtney
Well, no-
always keeps her mouth shut. She's like, I know we have like generational wealth. None of us did anything to get where we are.
Well, you know what's even crazier? If you look into like their dad with the OJ trial.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like, I was like, oh my God,
That's why her dad and her mom broke up. That's why Kris Jenner and
Yeah, because everybody, literally, even she thought he
she
fucking
was
did
friends
it.
with Nicole Brown.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, OJ, if you're out there, if you're listening,
If you've seen the fucking
you see the evidence.
I'm talking about the court video where they call him innocent. Even Rob Kardashian has like a look of disbelief on his face. Rob Kardashian himself, his own defense attorney, is looking there like.
Well, that's one of the first times they brought in like DNA evidence too. They're like, there's no like this is 100% OJ's blood on the scene. Blah blah blah. He's like DNA evidence connects him to the scene of the crime, and he still got off.
He argued that it's because his children lived there, so he was at the house a lot.
Yeah. Which, I mean, is actually a defense, I think, coined by him. Like, people will use, like, the OJ defense. Like, yeah, I live there, too.
Yeah.
How's my DNA not there?
Yeah.
Like, also, I look at that video of the glove. I'm like, pull it down. Pull it down, dude. Pull it down.
That's me be in bed like, bitch, I know it fits, type shit. Put the thing on.
Put the thing on. It doesn't fit.
It's not that big. Put it on. Like, put the glove on.
Fit. Like, sir, you're not OJ. The glove
don't
fit.
You're not even trying to put it on. Put it on.
I get it. It feels better, but put it on, bitch.
I know I'm not targeting anybody. Mr. Allergic to latex.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Sure, act like it.
Get that thing away from me. I'm allergic.
This is the first I've ever heard of it.
I'll be telling you honest, I have used that before.
I teach them about it all the time. They're just like,
Yeah,
bitch, I did my part. I'm on the pill. But it's just crazy. You're willing to have a child with me the first time you laid down with me. Wow.
Well, just because I don't use a condom doesn't mean I'm willing to have a child.
That's what it says to me, bitch. I would prefer you did use a condom.
Well, yeah, obviously, but if, I mean, pull out game good, bro.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah!
Good.
Great! I ain't got no kids.
Maybe you're infertile.
Maybe. If I could be so lucky.
I guess we could say the same about me then, huh?
No, I take my birth control. I do what I can. I know that I'm in the clear. But
Anyway,
I will judge you.
I do my part.
I will judge you if this is my first time with you and you ain't said nothing about protection. I'm like,
Hey, you know what? It is a common
"He
rule of
loves my
thumb.
baby."
I guess, you know what? As a woman, I guess you kind of have to make that inference.
You know, I'm like, that's weird.
And then, because
You don't wanna
that's
be
a
a
weird thing too.
father.
That's what they think. We're thinking, oh, this just feels better.
I'm like, this man wants my children. I'm like,
They're like, oh, that feels good.
Yeah, I'd father your children.
All
I'm
right.
not having children.
Are you the one that's infertile?
Like, by choice.
By choice. I would be infertile by
I'd
choice.
sterilize myself if I knew how.
Just take out your ovary.
You can't. Doctors will not remove your ovaries till like you're past 30.
Wow. Well, isn't there like a part of you that you...
Get your tubes tied. That doesn't work.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
I had a friend named Rachel whose mom had twins after she had her tubes tied. And then another
Damn,
newborn
twins?
Baby, and then another newborn baby.
Wow. That's some strong swimmers. Goddamn fucking Michael Phelps of sperm.
I'm telling you, like, sorry, your mom kind of needs to, like...
Chill. Put a goddamn condom on. Jeez.
I mean, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of ways to prevent it. So, like, they chose one and it didn't
You know what?
work.
I
Like,
will say the
you
people.
didn't know
How
kids
could this?
that bad? Because
If there's anyone that says like when they get pregnant, like, how could this happen? Like, bitch, you didn't wear a condom. That's how it didn't happen.
My mom literally had her uterus removed after Charlie. She was like, fuck that.
Factory closed. We are closed.
Officially.
We are terminal.
Yeah, but it took a long time for them to actually do it. For them to agree to do it, even though she was already like.
Well, I mean that's a weird thing too. Like it's.
They always try to convince you that's not what you want. That you'll change.
Yeah, well, people have like it's like the same thing with like there's certain like parts of like the human biological experience that like even like medical science has a lot of problems fucking with.
It kind of is annoying. Doesn't
Like
make any sense.
death is a
Death?
thing they
What
do
about-
not want to touch.
What about intersexuality?
What do you mean intersexual?
Do you know, like, it's a small percentage, but the percentage still, even within the American population, tens of thousands of people are born with penises and vaginas. That is, like, the true, that is the reality of science.
Okay.
And, like, there's this,
And they have one
I listened to
removed?
a very interesting, like, podcast from this lady that she was